Hello and welcome to Small Gold's Shanghai Gold Exchange withdrawals update for the month of October 2018. Well, Shanghai Gold Exchange is on pace for the third largest annual withdrawals ever. Shanghai Gold Exchange withdrawals were 143 tons in October, but through October they're now at the third highest level in the exchange's history since 2008. We're going to take a look at some other charts. So, Shanghai Gold Exchange withdrawals of 142, almost 143 tons in October were down from about 6% from 151 withdrawals in October last year, and they were also down from 108 tons in September. However, the overall withdrawals through 2018 October 2018 are at 1,698, and as you can see, that is slightly ahead of 2017's 1,656 tons. It's ahead of 2016's 1,559 and ahead of 2014's 1,654. All pretty close though. The two bigger years were 2015 with 2,165 tons withdrawn through October, and I think 2015 ended with about 2,600 tons being withdrawn, and also it's slightly less than 2013, but overall on this pace 2018 is shaping up to be the third biggest year for gold withdrawals on the Shanghai Gold Exchange. And generally people look at the Shanghai Gold Exchange as one proxy for physical gold demand in China. It doesn't cover people buying bars. We do get those numbers as well from the World Gold Council, but this is the gold that is traded, kilo bars on the Shanghai Gold Exchange, and then participants can take the gold from the exchange. And you could see pretty much since 2008, starting especially around 2013, a pretty robust trade and number of, or tonnage of withdrawals for the past 5 years. And here's how October generally shapes up. And you can see this month in October 2018 was a little lower than prior recent months, but far ahead of months of October from 2008 to 2012, and less than 100 tons had been withdrawn during those periods. And you can see 2014 was the record year of 201 tons withdrawn in October. October generally a slower month on the Shanghai Gold Exchange. To your right, you can see Blackout Coffee ads, as well as Koa Coffee, which is 100% Kona coffee from Hawaii, and they are new affiliate links on the Small Gold site, so please check them out. Small Gold gets a small commission if you buy that delicious coffee. Now let's scroll down and see some other charts. Now, a lot of people always talk about the COMEX being a paper exchange, and generally it is. The people that trade on COMEX are there to trade for profit, fiat profit, not there to necessarily take delivery for the gold. Little bit different over at the Shanghai Gold Exchange. Indeed, you can trade paper contracts, but the deliveries or the withdrawals are much larger, as you can see from this chart. You've got 2017, 2,000 tons withdrawn. We've seen so far this year the Shanghai Gold Exchange, we've withdrawn nearly 1,700 tons versus the small amounts that are actually delivered on the COMEX. And by the way, the COMEX has a much larger, a much higher notional amount of gold traded. So the amounts that are actually delivered on COMEX are de minimis in comparison to the total amount of gold that's actually traded, the contracts that are traded. And there's your 1,698 tons withdrawn through October. We've gone through that chart. Here's just an example of what I was talking about. This is just to pick a 2-week period in 2014. All of 2014 COMEX deliveries were only 85 tons, and in the 2-week period in 2014, Shanghai Gold Exchange withdrawals were nearly 70% higher at 137 tons withdrawn. And just a couple of more charts. We're going to be covering this in a lot more detail later tonight in the Small Gold live stream. So please join us each and every night around 7:30, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on YouTube for a live stream. We'll have an opportunity to ask questions, make comments. And so let's see here. Shanghai Gold Exchange annual withdrawals. Here are there's the record year, 2015 with 2,596 tons. 2013 was the second highest year with 2,197 tons. All these charts can be seen a lot better on the Small Gold site, so please visit smallgold.com, subscribe there, and you can check out the charts a lot better than looking at them as they fly by through my narrative. Now, tonight we're going to be talking about the case of China's missing gold. You see, well, look at all this gold here in the Shanghai Gold Exchange. There's got to be a lot more gold. You just showed us nearly 2,000 tons of gold withdrawn on the Shanghai Gold Exchange. Nearly 17,000 tons have been withdrawn since 2008, and yet China reports only 1,842 tons. They're lying, they're lying. We hear that all the time. People confuse the difference between a country's central bank and its reserves and the amount of gold in a country. It's a very simple concept, but it's one that the gold promoters have just focused extensively on China. As you can see, India's central bank doesn't have that much gold, 580 tons, but yet it has far more gold in the country. But for whatever reason, people focus on China. You don't believe those numbers, do you? They're really low. We're going to talk about it tonight, but take a look at these charts here. Obviously, there's more gold in China than 1,842 tons, but that's at the central bank. I was one of the first gold commentators to notice this back in 2015 when China first reported, the People's Bank of China first reported an update to its gold reserves since 2009. It was covered in Zero Hedge and was called the case of China's missing gold. And I basically went through where all the gold was in China, and essentially it is not necessarily all at the People's Bank of China. Obviously, it's with private investors, it's with other banks, state-owned banks, it's in sovereign wealth funds, it's all over the country, it's at the Shanghai Gold Exchange. It's just not on the People's Bank of China's balance sheet, yet many people insist that somehow there's some type of grand conspiracy going on. And I've shown here that there is, on the Chinese mining production, there's been about 5,800 tons of gold mined, so that's more than the 1,800 tons, obviously. I'm well aware of the amount of gold that is mined in China, the amount of gold that's brought into China. And my estimate is pretty much near other gold analyst estimates, between 20,000 and 30,000 tons that are in China. I don't deny that there's a lot of gold in China. It's just not at the People's Bank of China. There's Hong Kong imports, Chinese mining, Shanghai imports, and what's at the People's Bank of China. Anyway, we'll be discussing that tonight. I want to wish everybody a happy belated Thanksgiving, and please make sure you check out the Small Gold live stream tonight, and also subscribe to this channel. Also subscribe over on BitChute, and check out your Small Gold mugs. They are real game changers. Thank you very much.